The iPhone 15 just leaked, and there are a bunch of questions we gotta answer. Is this phone gonna be shockingly good, shockingly bad, or, well, just plain boring? And also, is this the last iPhone that Apple is going to make? Is this going to be truly the end of an era? So in this video, let's break down the latest iPhone 15 leaks, rumors, let me answer those questions, and tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro, and maybe the iPhone 15 Ultra too. Some of you are gonna be excited, but I think most of you are gonna be, hate to say it, really, really disappointed. We're now about 7-ish months away from this moment. Tim Cook is gonna walk across that stage, introduce some crazy sleek promo video, and the iPhone 15 series is gonna officially, well, become official. But until then, these phones will continue to leak in various other ways. And the closer we get to the September Apple event, the more we think we know about the new iPhone and all the changes that it will have. And based off of the latest leaks, I've got some good news and some bad news that you need to know. To clarify, these new images are based off of CAD files obtained by 9to5Mac. They say the source is credible, and CAD file leaks have been pretty common over the years in sort of spilling the beans on what Apple is planning, and for the most part, these CAD files have been pretty accurate, and with these latest leaks, and these, CAD files that are giving us these renders, there's a lot we've got to look at. Now, the first thing you probably noticed from those images is that the big redesign we thought was gonna happen, maybe like an iPhone 4 style redesign or some sort of crazy industrial redesign, doesn't look like it's actually going to happen this year. Apple had, at least for the past couple of years, given us some major design overhaul to the iPhone every 3 years, and Mark Gurman from Bloomberg also said that the iPhone this year should give us some sort of more substantial redesign. Instead, it doesn't look like that's actually going to happen this year. The design here looks pretty similar to the 14 series with a couple of noticeable exceptions. One of the big changes here and the big differences on the iPhone 15 series is USB-C. Yes, finally, whether Apple is doing it from the kindness of their fruit heart or because they're being forced to do it, we now have USB-C expected on every single iPhone 15 model this year, with the Pros getting faster Thunderbolt-like data transfer speeds, while the regular 15 and 15 Plus will have USB-C charging and like regular data transfer speeds. One of the other big changes here based off of these CAD files is with the 15 Pro. With these two phones, you'll notice that the bezels are thinner, noticeably thinner here when compared to the 14 Pro that we've got right now. Obviously, you're seeing a side-by-side on screen. Whether this is a big deal or not is sort of up to you. Now, what probably is the biggest design change here that is going to come to the iPhone 15 series is that the curvature of the phone body actually is sort of coming back. Remember with the iPhone 10, the 10s, and the 11, that the phone sort of had curved edges? Well, that looks to be making its sort of reintroduction here in 2023, as we're no longer going to have the more boxy, edgy industrial design that was introduced with the 12, and we're sort of getting a mishmash of both the curved edges and that more industrial look. This should be a more welcomed addition for anyone who sort of found the current series to be uncomfortable to hold in the hand. The boxy edges are nice and they look great, but they can be a little bit sort of tough to hold for long periods of time. So if you're sort of not a fan of that, then you're in luck. But if you're again hoping for some more big design change than just curved edges, unfortunately, looks like we're sort of out of luck. Also worth noting is that these CAD files do sort of not confirm, but show what appears to be capacitive buttons that will replace the physical buttons for volume up, volume down, and the power button as well. Again, according to some rumors we've heard for a while, Apple is expected to ditch physical buttons on the 15 Pro series and have like capacitive, sort of touch-sensitive buttons for one reason or another. All right, so if you're keeping track at home, it seems like all these phones are pretty similar, right? USB-C coming to every single iPhone 15 model. We should be getting that new design. Obviously, the Pros will have sort of the, non-physical buttons, which is either a pro or con. But what are the other changes and differences that are on the Pro 15 models that you're not going to find on the regular 15 and 15 Plus, if that survives the cut? But More on that in a second. As of right now, it looks like the 15 Pro series is gonna be a more moderate upgrade this year unless you go with the 15 Pro Max or 15 Pro Ultra or whatever Apple calls this highest end model, because this should have a new periscope zoom lens system that should give you better optical zoom for your photos and videos. That again is expected to be only on the biggest, most expensive iPhone you can buy this year. Besides that though, all other Pro models should sort of have the same features. You're gonna have the ProMotion always on display. You're going to have the triple camera setup. We probably should see some like camera improvements there as well. We should be seeing, again, those faster USB-C data transfer speeds. We should be getting some new titanium frames instead of aluminum. And according to the folks at 9to5Mac, the exclusive color for the 15 Pro series this year could be this sort of new maroon, sort of deep red color. I personally like this way better than the current deep purple. Hopefully it looks as good as this. I also should mention, speaking of different rumors, that there is at least one rumor that the iPhone 15 Plus, the non-Pro phone, might get a larger 6.2-inch OLED display this year, but really, you're not gonna see some huge differences this year between the 15 Pro and the non-15 Pro models, 15 and 15 Plus, but actually, if this year sort of taught us anything, or I guess last year at the 14 series, that's actually not a bad thing. What I mean by that is that according to all the reports we've seen, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus were sort of perceived to be pretty boring upgrades. The changes they got were so small and so unnoticeable or unexciting that Apple has had a really hard time selling those phones. Specifically, the iPhone 14 Plus is not selling well at all. In fact, Apple might even cancel the 15 Plus because the 14 Plus just hasn't sold well. In addition to that USB-C port on the bottom, the 15 and 15 Plus will actually be getting a lot of the Pro-end features of the iPhone 14 Pro on the 15. So that main 48 megapixel camera for great photos and videos, that should be coming to non-Pro phones this year. And also the dynamic island that people either love or hate. Yes, this means the notch is officially gone from modern iPhones, and the dynamic island will be across every single iPhone 15 model this year, whether you love it or not. Also, two more things I've seen some comments on I do want to clarify. In terms of refresh rate, the Pro phones are expected to be the only ones to get the 120 hertz ProMotion, so looks like 60 hertz is going to be sort of the standard on the 15 and 15 Plus. And also, if you care about chips and the processor and stuff like that, a 16 should be in the new Pro series, a 15 in the 15 and 15 Plus. All right, so as interesting as all that is, and as excited or disappointed as you may be, there's a lot more to the iPhone 15 story because things are about to really change in the entire Apple ecosystem, and Apple has some really tough decisions they need to make, like right now. For example, pricing seems to be a continued issue with the iPhone these days. Not only were the 14 and 14 Plus sort of by all accounts boring upgrades, but the price made them even harder to justify. At $799 and $899, it was hard to not only pay those prices, but not pay $200 more to upgrade to the Pro-end series. So Apple sort of needs to figure out what their pricing structure is going to be. They're either going to need to lower prices on the 15 and 15 Plus to make them a little bit more accessible and exciting, or what rumors say they might do is actually raise prices on the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max to sort of separate those phones even more. We've also heard that Apple is considering a new addition to the iPhone family with an iPhone Ultra. This would not be like a rebranded Pro Max, but this would be an even higher end phone in the lineup, making it the third Pro-end phone you could buy. What sort of has been the theme year over year is that while the non-Pro iPhones might be a hit one year, might not be a hit the other year, their Pro phones seem to consistently sell well, as many people, myself included, will shell out the money to get Apple's latest and greatest flagship phone. And the idea from Apple is that if they can't capitalize on the low end, maybe they should do more to capitalize on the high end. There are many people out there who would buy the highest end iPhone if it had more features, even if it had a higher price tag to go with it. So maybe an Ultra iPhone, as a totally new addition to the lineup, doesn't actually seem all that crazy and could make Apple a whole lot of money. And then comes my very controversial take that many of you disagree with me on, as I saw in the last video we posted on the subject, linked up here and down below, and that is that this is expected to be the iPhone 15 for 2023, the last iPhone of its kind. This is going to mark the end of an era for the iPhone, as it's expected to get a significantly sort of decreased role inside of Apple, because all eyes, all attention, and a lot of R&D money is going to go to this. Apple is hard at work on their mixed reality AR VR headset, and whether you love it, you like it, or you hate it, Apple appears to be going all in on making this their next big thing. And to be clear, I'm not saying that starting next year with the iPhone 16, Apple is going to stop making the iPhone, or they're gonna make it like a flip phone that does nothing or a boring phone. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is that according to all those who know about this project, very credible journalists, analysts, Apple insiders, this headset is going to mark a monumental shift that if Apple gets their way, if all of their planning and preparation succeeds, this is gonna be sort of the start of a new era for Apple and will eventually replace the iPhone. Just like it seems so crazy that the iPod would meet its match, the iPhone did everything the iPod could do and more in a much better and unique and exciting way. And that is the idea of the headset. What Apple is planning for this to be is not just sort of a goofy headset that you wear, but over time, as the technology matures and gets more refined and more accessible, this would allow you to do everything your iPhone could do in a much better and more immersive and unique way. And trust me, I know it is hard to justify this now. It's hard to see why this is so cool. There's no killer app. All of the criticism of the headset is very fair. Look, I'm not even sold on it. I think the $3,000 starting price tag for this first model is crazy, but the long-term game here from Apple is that this is going to be a monumental shift that is going to take some time. And I hate to break it to you, but the iPhone is not going to stay Apple's dominant thing forever. This has only really been a thing since 2007, and as the tech world changes and as Apple changes, this is going to be the beginning of the end for a phone that we love. Not gonna happen next year, not gonna happen in maybe 3 years, but over the next couple of years, things are going to dramatically change, whether you like it or not. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the iPhone 15 series as it stands right now? Do these new leaks have you excited for what is coming? Are you ready for the USB-C future that Apple is finally jumping on board with? Or are you a little disappointed that the leaks aren't more exciting? And what do you think Apple should do? Should they go all in on the headset? Should they sort of leave the headset as a side project and keep the iPhone in its #1 place? Should they lower prices? Let me know your thoughts down below, and also down below, I don't know, maybe do, what emoji could we do this time? You guys were really good with the Apple emoji last time. Maybe let's do a, I don't know, a phone emoji? Yeah, use the phone emoji, whatever your Android or iOS phone emoji is. Leave that down below. It was really cool, honestly, to see you guys commenting those apples and seeing that you guys made it all the way through. If you made it this far in my ramblings, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as always, I appreciate you guys' support. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your commenting. Let me know down below your thoughts on the iPhone 15. Let's talk, let's discuss. I read all the comments. I'll be down there talking with you guys. So let me know down below. As always, I do appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, so much for your support. I am Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.